bet. Steve?
Yeah, no kidding. All right, Brian, thank you. Republican hopeful Ben Carson sparking controversy over the weekend with these comments about faith in the presidency.
I would not advocate that we put a Muslim in charge of this nation. I absolutely would not agree with that.
But our next guest disagrees with Dr. Carson on the comments. Dr. Jasser is the author of A Battle for the Soul of Islam. He's also the president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy. He joins us live from Phoenix. Good morning to you, sir. I know you disagree with him. There's at least one Muslim organization calling for Dr. Carson to withdraw. What do you think he should do regarding this?
Well, I think, part of the presidential race is to clarify exactly what our strategy is against the threat, and he shouldn't, withdraw. But I hope he can clarify that actually Muslims who are battling against theocracy are our greatest allies. That, yes, Islamists are a threat. It's a large political movement that could be upwards of 20–30% of the world's Muslim population, whether it be the Muslim Brotherhood, the Islamists of the militants Al-Qaeda, ISIS, or political movements, many of whom are these organizations in America that are a threat. They could not be, because Islamism is incompatible. But to the tradition of our also medical colleague, Dr. Benjamin Rush, who helped write Common Sense with Thomas Paine. The greatest tyranny of all is the tyranny of religions. And Muslims are going through that same battle. So I hope be it President Carson, any of the other candidates in the future, can thread that needle, because this is a very American intrinsic fight against theocracy, but we can't alienate our allies.
Sure.
So we need to go from a president that's been an apologist for all Islamists to one that can thread the needle between Islamism and not conflate it with all Muslims.
So let me make sure I heard you correctly. You said a Muslim could be president, essentially, but an Islamist could not.
Absolutely. Just like at our founding fathers. A Christianist or a theocrat was not a part of America's founding system, but yet devout Christians who were against theocracy were our greatest patriots. So I would hope a President Carson candidate that begins to learn about Islamism, or maybe articulate it better, can say that Muslim patriots who believe in our country can not only be president, but they can get security clearances, be part of Homeland Security, and can help us lead this fight. But those who are Islamists should not even be getting any security clearances, not be any members of Congress, or let alone President of the United States.
All right. I want to switch gears for just a second while we've got you right here. Everybody knows about the story about the kid down in Irving, Texas, who took into school and a clock he made that looks surprisingly like a clock I had back in the 80s from Radio Shack. There he is right there, Ahmed Mohammed. Teachers looked at that and thought, that looks like a bomb, so they called the cops. There's been an outrage. How could you do that? It's because he's Muslim. Bill Maher, on his show over the weekend, says the school got it right. Listen to this.
What if it had been a bomb?
Yeah, exactly.
And so the teacher is supposed to see something that looks like a bomb and go, oh, wait, this just might be my white privilege talking.
Dr. Jasser, do you think Bill Maher's got it right in this case?
He does. I mean, at what point is this selective outrage, Steve, going to end? And Bill points out in his program later, he says, what about the hashtag for Muhammad al-Nimr, or the hashtag for Raif Badawi, who's being whipped in front of mosques while our president was actually visiting the King of Saudi Arabia? Those are heroes that are Muslims, that can be icons, that need hashtags. But a privileged young Texas teen who has a box full of wires that any kid that had brought him, be it Muslim or non-Muslim, I would hope in today's heightened security alerts in high schools and schools across the country, where we've seen second guessing of how certain murders happened. Listen, I want the school where my kids are at to be a hyper-vigilant, especially in today's threat of ISIS, etc. So please, let's stop the selective outrage. POTUS, our president, needs to stop tweeting about these little victim-mongering episodes and pay attention to real Muslim heroes in Saudi Arabia and elsewhere, where there's thousands of Muslims that are fighting for freedom that deserve the hashtag of the president much more so than a hyper-victimized teen in Texas who's pretty privileged.
All right, Dr. Jasser today with opinions, joining us from Phoenix. Sir, thank you very much. Have a great week.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. What do you think about that? Email us, friends.